Alright, what is going on, guys? It's Nagastrike. I'm back at you with another video, and today we are going to be talking about, in my personal opinion, a tier list for custom Robo, the first ever tier list. And this is just going to be the bots, and I'll probably later do some guns and all that. But anyways, without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So first off, we got up here in S tier, I have Glaive. Now, Glaive is pretty much the best bot, hands down, in the game, in my opinion, because he's got the 3 strike finisher teleports, which you can just iframe through shots and punish them. And the reason I picked Glaive over the other ones is because his collision. He does like a Shoryuken, and it's super low end lag. You can use it to end your combos and then air dash away to reset neutral. You can use it from behind a wall to shoot over the wall. You can use it to iframe through a shot, and then you still have your other 3 iframes because you can immediately air dash afterwards. So he's just all around just a lot more versatile than the other strike finishers because he can really abuse that collision. So for that reason, I put him on top. And then next up we have Tankhead. Now, everyone's come to know by this point, everyone hates the Zek777 has dubbed the Buzz Lightyear build. So you grab a funky big head, strap on some feathers on his little boots, and give him an acrobat bomb and watch him go to space. So this build's super fucking good because what it's going to allow you to do is go so high up in the air that your opponent's pods are just now irrelevant, and you can still litter your pods from the sky down on them. Hahaha, Kappa. But yeah, air camping has become really prevalent in the metagame. So for that reason, and just cutting off the option of your opponent's pods for a lot of the time that you're in the air, Tankhead definitely has to like go up in the top tier slot. And then Tankhead just has the better of the 3 collisions. He's such a good anti-approach, and you can actually like combo off of some of the zoning builds you play with him. You can combo into his collision. Next up, we got the aerial beauty, Soul. And Soul, well, aerial beauties got really good when we made the Raven legs legal. I mean, not to take anything away from the class to begin with, they're a decent class. But Raven legs just kind of make them like really good. Like they can really abuse it. So Soul kind of has like not really a dash, but you know, she's got the jumps, but the aero mobility where you can like literally jump and just go around the world, perform a little circle. That's what I call it. And then she has 2 jumps. So she can do that, well, 3 jumps. So she can do that 2 more times after she jumps. And then the Soul collision is just really good. It's quick, it's short range, and it can clear walls. Not much to say there, she can just abuse the Raven legs really well and has a good collision. So, moving on down, we got A tier. So these aren't top tier, but these are high tier. We got Halberd. So Halberd's basically Glaive, except for, you know, you lose the Glaive collision, which I just think is such a crucial part of the gameplay. It just adds so much to the character. So I mean, if you notice, like most of these decisions are honestly kind of based on the collision. Because I mean, what else are you going to base them on? Dividing between the bot classes anyways. But yeah, Halberd, still a strike finisher, so he's still really high up there. But unfortunately, that collision's just not as good as Glaive. You can't like air dash immediately out of it and all that. So next up we got Sealhead. You know, he's still a funky big head just like Tankhead, but he's got a little bit worse of a collision. We're gonna put him down into A tier. Dowerhead, same thing. His collision's even worse than Sealhead's, so I kind of thought about putting him into B tier. But at the same time, it's like, well, okay, he's still a funky big head, so he can air camp. Like, that's insane. And then we have our first Metal Grappler in A tier. We got Metal Bear. Now, Metal Bear, you know, the Metal Grapplers are like so good at getting up in your face and trading. They've got a fast, quick, horizontal air dash. They've got decent ground speed, and you know, they take all your crap from you. They'll take a lot to get knocked down, so they just generally want to get in and pressure you and try to trade with you and etc. And Metal Bear, I really like Metal Bear because not only can he capitalize the most off a hit confirm with his collision, but that collision also gives you a mind game when you're at that pressure distance. So you're like, maybe they're waiting for the shot, and then you just boom, you collision. We're just gonna go ahead and go down to B tier now. So we got the Trick Flyers, we got Buggy, and we have Juggler. So I like Buggy's the best because it floats up in the air and it covers a lot of space. It's really surprising, the hitbox on that thing. It's really deceiving, actually. And then Juggler's kind of teleports down from the sky. It's also really good. I mean, I can't really say one's better than the other. I like them both. They're both really good. But I think Buggy's collision takes up a little bit more space. But they are different, so you just kind of have to play around with them for your playstyle, I guess. But Trick Flyers are kind of like in between Metal Grapplers and Funky Big Heads, in my opinion. If you choose to do like the Acrobat Feather thing, it's like you have Metal Grapplers, can't go very high, but you can like dash in. And then you got the Funky Big Heads, they can't like dash up and pressure, but they go up really high vertically. And then you kind of got like the nice middle ground and Trick Flyers, where you can go up, not quite as high as a Funky Big Head, but you can go up decently high. And then you still have your air dashes. And speaking of which, they have 3 air dashes, so kind of reminiscent of a strike finisher without iframes. So they get high B tier. Next up I have Metal Ape. So Metal Ape, you know, he's Metal Grappler, but his collision is not quite as good. It does have some nice anti-air properties, so it probably works better with different builds. But just in general, the way a Metal Grappler would like to pressure, I just think Bear's a bit better. So for that reason, Metal Ape slides down into B tier. Next up we have Javelin. I feel like this one's probably going to be one of the more controversial placings that I did, because everyone's going to be like, oh, he's a strike finisher, like, oh, his collision's so good because it can combo, but his collision doesn't have iframes. And yes, I know he's a strike finisher, he already has 3 air dash iframes, like, he's insane, but Javelin's collision is only really abused by the fact that you can combo with it. And that's just assuming your opponent gets knocked down in the first place and cannot switch, so your combo's guaranteed. Otherwise, they can just switch out of it and nullify your entire reason of picking Javelin in the first place. So, it might sound kind of stupid to some of you guys, but for that reason, like, Halberd and Glaive just outclass this by a mile. Like, it's crazy, it's insane. Like, I wouldn't pick Javelin. But it's still a strike finisher, so I can't put him all the way bottom in C tier, so for that reason, he's in B tier. Okay, next up we have Earth, and now Earth's collision just isn't as good as Soul's. It's kind of wonky. It's the one where it like clears walls or whatever, but it's kind of like a bad Shoryu, I guess. It's just so weird trying to hit with that. Like, maybe you can combo off of it, but I just don't think it's worth it. Like, Soul's collision is just so good. Alright, so next up we have a couple Lightning Skies. So we got Defender and Seeker. And I would place Defender above Seeker. So Lightning Skies make it into B tier because they just get knocked down so quickly. You can abuse the end lag on their air dash depending on your build. And it's just, like, if you want a zone, they're just outclassed by the Funky Big Heads. So, I'd say they're kind of like mid-tier. But on the collisions, I think Defender's better than Seeker, because it's like the quickest one of them all. Like, Defender and Seeker are both about the same. Maybe Defender's a little longer, actually. But it's just straightforward. Seeker kind of, like, floats up above them. You might miss. Kind of rough. And then we have our first Little Raider down here in B tier, and that's going to be Shrike. And the reason Strike is because his Shoryuken, well, the reason for Little Raiders in general being like down this low and B tier is because I just think they're just not good in the current meta. It's like they get knocked down by everything, which sucks. And then with funky big heads like taking to the skies, like you're basically nullifying all the advantage they can create by running around on the ground. Sure, they can try to run under you and punish your landing, yes, but at the same time, when you're doing this air camping, you're just gonna drop pods wherever you're gonna land. And like, what's Little Raider gonna do? Like, they have to back off at that point, or else they're just gonna get knocked down. So they can't really, theoretically on paper, if you're air camping Funky Big Head and you play perfectly, then the Little Raider player's never gonna be able to punish you. So I just don't think they're that great in the current meta. So they get pretty low on the tier list. But I put Strike above the others because the Shoryuken's so good, you can act almost immediately out of it. There's been several times where I played against like Tiptic, and he'll Strike Shoryuken, which won't hit me, but then I'll go to shoot afterwards to punish him, and he'll just be able to shoot before I can. So, I mean, yeah, it's not a true thing. You can time it to where you punish the collision, but it's so hard. It's so quick. It's got to be like 1 or 2 frames. Next up, we got RealOne. So, Shining Fighters are pretty much like... they're like Little Raiders, in my opinion. They can run on the ground faster than anyone else besides the Little Raiders. But they have the benefit of not getting knocked down, so they have the option of acro canceling. But it's kind of an oxymoron, because in my opinion, when you play a Shining Fighter, you really want to use your bomb as an extra means of pressure so you can abuse that ground speed. So it kind of sucks that their little highest running speed but still be able to acro cancel is their whole spiel, and then you don't really want to play Acrobat on it. But anyways, they also got 2 air dashes, so it's kind of like an all-around, but not really too great at anything. I don't think that's like super great in custom Robo, because I think you really want to abuse one thing, and it kind of goes without saying with all the bot classes being so different from each other, with them all being able to abuse one thing or another, and with all the plethora of parts available, you can kind of make yourself a jack of all trades if you want to, and then still specialize in something. There's Shining Fighters just kind of being all around, just they aren't that good. So RealOne, I put him higher because, you know, I mean, he's still a decent bot. He can still compete. But it's just like, you know, what are you gonna do against all these other bots? So he has the decent straightforward collision. So he gets a little bit higher than the other two. So now lastly, C tier. But Milky Way, you know, it's all the way at the bottom, but it's at the very top of C tier because, you know, it's still an aerial beauty. And no, I'm not going to activate Windows. Still an aerial beauty, so it gets pretty good off Raven. But Milky Way's collision is just straight up trash. I'm just going to say that is pretty bad. Next up, we got Metal Ox. You know, same thing. He's a metal grappler, but his collision is just not good. You can kind of abuse it, I guess, if you have like a super long-lasting bomb, like Titan. You can Titan an area and then just collision at your opponent into it and just iframe through the Titan. And like, I mean, that's still not good, but that's optimism for you. That's something that you can do. So next up, we got Peregrine and then Swift. So they're a little bit worse than Strike. They have a different playstyle. They're definitely, dude, it's so hard. I want to say that they're almost as good as Strike, but not quite. It's just like you can do different things. You know, Peregrine's got the straightforward, Swift's got the, I'm gonna flip in the air a little bit and then come down. So they just have like different combo paths basically. Other than that, they're the same. So just like whatever suits your build more. Okay, then we have Glory and Splendor, the other two Shining Fighters. I think Glory's a little bit better for the Shoryuken, same reason for Glaive, same reason for Strike, etc, etc. Then Splendor, I just don't like his collision at all. I think it's really bad. And then we got Breaker, the last of the Lightning Skies. And I just don't like his super slow collisions. Like, even if you hit him, they can still punish you. It's pretty bad. And then I'm gonna say, then we got Criminal and Chicken Heart. I'm gonna say Criminal's the worst bot in the game, just because his he doesn't get any iframes on his. Well, he does. He doesn't have immediate invincibility like most everything does. Those collisions pretty bad. You can't really use it like you want to use a collision. It's mostly like a bad combo tool. And then we got Chicken Heart. Chicken Heart, I mean, he's just a discount strike vanisher. You know, he's only got one teleport. This collision is pretty punishable, even if you try to air dash afterwards. Even then, you only have one air dash. It's really predictable. So, I mean, what are you gonna do? Might as well just play Strike Vanisher. Alright, and that does it for my personal custom Robo tier list for the bots. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Let me know in Discord what you guys think. Tell me, Naga, you're a fucking idiot. I disagree with everything you said. You know, tell me, Naga, you're a great guy. I agree with everything you said. You're the best. You know, just let me know your opinion. Let's do some discussion on this. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And go ahead and subscribe. Ring that bell. Get them notifications so you can get them juicy custom Robo videos. And there we go. See you guys next time.